Hey, this is Phil Endress. Welcome to another episode of the BBCE podcast. I'm here alongside Rick and Steve from Baseball Card Exchange. Glad you guys are with us today. And our topic is going to be what's in the safe. And we're going to pick items that are in our safes or in our collection that they're not for sale, or at least they're not for sale right now. But all three of us have been in the business long enough. Everything's for sale. If the price is right. But we have a few things tucked away that we don't necessarily want to sell or we're not anxious to part with. And we're just going to kind of talk about those things today. So, Rick, why don't we start with you? What do you got in the safe that you enjoy big time?
I'm just going to start on a cheap end.
Okay.
I actually started collecting back in the early mid-'70s. So I actually still have my very first Walter Payton rookie card that, I would probably never sell. First of all, it's not very valuable.
Yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I can actually remember walking into Kmart when Kmart was around, and in the checkout aisle, they had boxes of 76 football cello. And I used to go through and pull out all the ones with the bears on top. So not that I can remember, but I'm sure that I actually had one or two with Walter Payton on top, and I opened them for the card. So now since then I've acquired a few packs with him on top. But I have that 76 football Walter Payton. It's probably a VG, maybe VGX.
Okay.
I think it even has. I know that I have two of them, and one of them has a thumbtack in it because that's what you did when you were a kid.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
It's so again, no value, but probably something I never sell. And then of course I have a lot of my 1974 Topps Evel Knievel cards from when I was a kid. I know I'm.
You have originals of those too?
I have those too.
Do you?
Yep, I have some of my originals, and again, they're very beat up. I used to get them out on Sundays when Wild World Sports was on. Evel Knievel was jumping and lay them out on the floor just like kids did when they were little in the 70s. So
Yeah.
but so that's the non-truly valuable stuff that I would just never part with.
That's cool.
All right.
I didn't know about that.
Is there anything that's not so valuable that you have tucked away?
Unlike Rick, I really can't say anything from like when I was younger that I remember kept.
Yeah.
Most things people have ever given me, I've never sold.
Okay.
I just won't do it because it was given to me.
Right.
But it's nothing that exciting.
Okay.
Some things that I do have, like that I find really interesting, is I have a. In fact, you helped me with this Tip Top Bred Honus Wagner.
Oh, yeah.
It's in low grade, but
Yeah.
it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
From the last time I checked, too, I believe the population for it was lower than the T206 Wagner.
Yeah.
And it's the same photo.
Same photo.
So it's,
And while it's a lower grade, the presentation is
Yes,
much higher
yes.
than what the grade suggests.
it has a little section of where the paper has some issues.
Right.
Yep. I also have a 34 Gaudy Ruth. No, I'm sorry. 34 Gaudy Garrett. Mm-hmm. And the front of it is brand new. The
Yes.
color, the focus, it's oversized. It's jumbo. Probably the front of it is an 8 or a 9 and dead centered.
Wow.
However, on the back, there's a spot of paper loss. So it's graded a 5. So the front of it is a $100,000 card. Mm-hmm. The back of it is a $5,000 card. So,
You can't really sell that one, right?
if you're buying it by the number, it's
Yeah.
5 to 10 grand.
Right.
So I don't want to do anything with it because if I'm only going to get that kind of number, we might as well just leave it.
Yeah, exactly.
I also have one other thing.
Yeah.
You could help me with this.
Okay.
A long time ago, I bought a lot of stuff from you.
Yeah.
I have an autographed folder
Yeah.
with Michael Jordan on the cover.
Yeah.
What exactly was that, and how rare is it?
It's super rare. I don't know how rare it is.
Was it like a season ticket holders got them in the mail?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
And for those of you that don't know, before I worked at Baseball Card Exchange, I actually sold to Baseball Card Exchange a couple different times. I was big into all things Michael Jordan, all things basketball in the 80s. So what Steve's referring to is sort of just like this folder that was signed by Jordan probably in his rookie year. It's a beautiful signature, but I've had so many of them or so many Jordan things, I can't really remember what he's talking about. I can't remember the look.
I think it was like just in a folder you opened.
Yeah, and there was some stuff in there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it was signed in red.
Okay.
So
I remember the signature being, Jordan rookie year signature. So maybe I'll have Steve dig that out and we can put a photo of this on the
I
episode
just don't
today.
even remember seeing the unsigned folder.
Right.
So
Again, it's not a $100,000 piece, but it's one of those pieces where you go, man, this is really
and
cool.
I'm not a big autograph guy.
No, and you're not a big basketball guy either.
Yeah.
But, growing up in this area, being around here as long as we have been, Jordan was king. And even if you didn't play basketball or don't have a much of appreciation for basketball, if you were in this area, Jordan kind of transcends just basketball. He overarches basketball. He's
Also,
just an icon.
I don't even like wrestling.
Yeah.
But I have that Andre the Giant photo
Oh, yeah.
autographed. And that's something I threw into the back of the safe.
Yeah, I mean, less than a year ago, I was at a Boston show, just a small Boston show at the Shriners, and I found an Andre the Giant autographed picture. Now, it was signed on the back, if I can remember
Yep.
correctly, but it was a cool signature. And while Steve is not into it, Rick and I are connoisseurs of 80s, early 90s
That's why I'm
wrestling.
to hold you guys hot.
Me and Rick are giving private offers to
Yes.
Steve. He's insinuating that there should be a bidding war here. For me, my collection, I do have some items that are very, they don't have much value at all. I've told this story already on podcasts. I won't tell it again. My first pack of cards was an '86 Fleer basketball pack. I was given that pack by a guy in my school bus with long hair. He had a boombox walking on the bus. I had no idea why seniors were allowed to ride the bus with kindergartners, but they were back then. And he had a boombox, and he had a pack of cards in his hand. He's like, "Kid, I don't like these." While living on a prayer, "You Give Love a Bad Name's" blaring, because he played that every day, Bon Jovi. And so he handed me the pack, and Reggie Theus was a player for the Chicago Bulls. I think 83, 84, or 5, but I recognize that name. I'm All Sports Chicago. However, on the 86 Fleer card, he's on the Kings. But I did notice that card, and I kept it. I don't know what I did with the other cards in the pack, but the Theus I kept, and it is in a PSA 7 holder. I put it in a book to keep it safe because I didn't have any holders. I didn't have any sleeves or anything, so I put it in a book, and I have that graded a PSA 7. It's probably worth $10, $12, but it's not for sale unless you give me a lot. So that's one thing. The other thing, I have a Mantle autograph from when I was a kid. A family member saw Mantle, I don't know, at some type of hotel thing, and he was signing pictures. And so Mantle asked, "Can I make it out to anybody?" And the family member said, "Make it out to Phil." And so it says, "Best wishes, Phil, Mickey Mantle." And so I got that slab by PSA, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. That's in my collection. It's not for sale. And what else?
After you bring that up, I know that me and Rick have done a lot of the meet and greets with rock and metal bands we like.
Oh.
And while they don't have a whole lot of value, even though it cost us a lot, but a lot of that stuff where you got to meet the band,
Yeah.
get something signed, that'll never get sold. First of all, there's not enough value to even bother to sell a lot of them. But yeah, when you meet the band, and especially when they're enjoy actually like that, they're interested that you're actually interested, and not just blowing you off.
Yeah.
that's
Steve,
the stuff I
Steve
like
and
to
Rick
keep.
are big fans of Duran Duran and Milli Vanilli. And
Yep, all of those. Now, sometimes you pay $500 for a meet and greet.
Right.
The item's probably worth $80 after you get it signed by the whole band.
Exactly.
That's besides the point too. So
Yeah. It's funny you mention that. Anything music related, for me, not much. I've got a couple cool pieces, but no big deal. I have a couple starting lineups that's very cheap that I wouldn't sell for whatever reason. I was a kid and collected those. I remember people hiding them at Toys R Us and KB Toys. But I have a couple rare ones that I somehow found, and I don't know.
like common players that are
Common
rare?
play, yeah,
Those
basketball.
are the rarer ones.
Again, basketball. I have a full set of 1988 starting lineup cards. Basketball. That's really rare. That's not for sale, unless.
There's some 88 football lineups that are really rare.
Yeah, 88
The
football.
offensive linemen, who cared?
Yep.
probably didn't get purchased.
Yeah, I don't have a bunch of them, but I do have full set of 88 baseball, a full set of 89 or 88 basketball with the 5 unreleased cards. And I've got a smattering of 88 football, but nobody too rare. Matter of fact, before I worked here, you bought some
Yeah, big collection.
big collection. You
Reed
sold.
got it. Yep.
Yeah, you sold a lot to me.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah.
I remember some of those Indianapolis Colts linemen, $500, $600, $700.
Yeah, right.
I've never even heard of them, but
Right.
Yeah.
So you helped me complete my set on the basketball. The boxes were beat to pieces, but I opened the boxes and just put the card in my
okay.
set.
Right.
I think Stockton was one of them, and he's a tough one. Reggie Miller's a tough one. Yeah, for those of you that don't know starting lineups, it's not Stockton that's tough. It's the Utah Jazz that are tough.
Okay.
It's the Indiana Pacers that are tough, And so I thought that was really cool. It's basically the small market teams that are tough because
Were they
printed-
released regionally?
Yes.
Okay. So that
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot less.
That's why the Jordans are easy.
The Jordans are easy.
High demand, but easy.
Yeah. The Knicks are easy. All the big markets are pretty
Yep. Lakers are probably easy.
very easy. Yeah. I mean, you can get Magic figures for like $5 to $10. Larry Bird figures for $5 to $10, but you're going to have to pay a little bit for Winston Garland.
Who?
Yeah. Gary, Indiana native. That's why I brought him up.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what high school he went to in Gary. For those of you that don't know, we're only 16. Don't worry, it's safe here. We're only about 10, 12 miles away from Gary, probably. All right, so let's go back around and let's say something that is valuable in our collection that's not really for sale, unless.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything's for sale other than the personal stuff.
Right.
Because, I mean, honestly, I think that's what Steve and I do is we buy it for investment.
Right.
Am I selling it today? No. Am I selling it in 5, 10 years? Sure. But just a couple, I like the oddball stuff, the stuff that's not really mainstream. I have a 77 football box. It's the jumbo box. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we've only seen 2 of them, and I own 1 of them.
Oh, wow.
And instead
They
of
were
being
10-cent packs.
yes,
That one's a 15
15
cent.
cent,
So
right.
it had to be a test issue of
yes,
some
and it
sort.
has 18 cards per pack.
Box is huge.
Yeah, it's
compared to
it's
the
really
thin
cool.
ones.
Wow.
So, and then all of a sudden, I think probably within the last couple of years, we've seen one come in. I'm like, what is this? I mean, I thought I had
2.
the only one. So, because they also have
74 football.
70.
I remember a huge 73
73
a
football.
huge jumbo box came in once.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are cool. I mean, it's just weird how. I mean, was it a test issue? I mean, who knows? Because
An employee got it.
yeah,
I don't know.
We
Right.
just had a comic book heroes box come in, and it's the big square box versus the rectangular box.
It's a Planet of the Apes size box.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
not the normal.
Right.
So
And which box was this?
76,
75 comic book.
75 comic book.
Okay.
heroes.
Oh, wow.
So
Yeah.
just really cool looking.
First time we'd seen one of that shape.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
came in with a Planet of the Apes 6-card cello pack box
Wow.
Yeah.
for the UK.
Yep.
So that's a super rare box
Okay,
too.
First
or-
time I'd seen that. one,
Okay. Yeah.
And then, I mean, I think probably one of my other cool pieces, not super valuable, but I have the 61 cello pack with Ron Santo on top.
Okay.
And I believe it's the only 61 cello pack graded with Ron Santo's
Oh, really?
rookie on
Okay.
top. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
'Cause
But-
there's been finds of 61
yes.
cellos.
And
but-
it came out of one of those
okay.
finds.
But you'd
um,
think there'd have been more.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think it's a 7 because of obviously the corners
Brittle.
ripping and,
Okay.
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But other than that, it's
That's
just
cool.
Kind of just cool stuff.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Steve?
I probably brought this up in a previous show, but like I said, I'm not much of an autograph guy. Mm-hmm. But you really helped me jumpstart on this collection. Is that 86 Fleer
Yeah.
through 1990 Fleer?
Yeah.
I have every card autographed,
Yeah.
including the stickers, including cards with 2 or 3 guys on it.
Yeah.
You have to have them all to have it complete. Mm-hmm. And the last one we needed was the 89-90 Fleer that has Stockton, Malone, and Eaton.
Yes.
Well, Eaton's deceased.
Right.
Stockton was hell.
Right.
I had to pay $500 when we did a signing. I gladly did it.
Yep.
And then after I had those 2, I had to get Malone.
Right.
I was just scared of losing the card after I had Eaton and Stockton on it.
Right.
Of it getting lost in the mail or something.
Right.
That would have been a tough one, too.
Exactly.
And now there's so many guys in the 86 Fleer set that are deceased.
So many.
And I see the prices on them are insane.
Yep.
5 figures for some of these guys. Signed.
Yeah.
So,
Mike Mitchell, Pat Cummings, guys that, for those of you that collect 86 Fleer, would not even think are valuable. Those guys are tough.
yep.
Manute
Well, I
Bol.
don't have an 8990 Ricky Berry,
Right.
because he passed before the set was released.
He's impossible.
Yes. Unless like an executive or somebody
Yeah.
had it around when he was alive, but he passed right before the release.
Yeah.
So it is impossible.
Yeah, so a little background on that. I sold these to Steve. I put them together, and this is one of those things where the hobby kind of keeps on giving. I made money selling to Steve. They've went up since I've sold them to Steve. But those cards are just awesome. And what Steve's not telling you that he also has is he also has almost the full sign set of 1989-90 hoops, which is 351 cards.
Yeah, Series 1 and 2.
Series 1 and 2, and so he's only missing 6. One of those, again, is impossible to get. Well, maybe that would be the 7 then. I think he's missing 6 possible or something like that.
I'm missing Rick Mahorn. And you went to go get him the other day, and what did he tell you?
Yeah. So Rick Mahorn has 2 cards in the set. He has one in the low series, he has one in the high series. The low series and the high series are the same pictures. However, the teams changed. In 89-90, well, in 1990, they did the expansion draft, and Rick Mahorn was put in the expansion draft by the Detroit Pistons. So Series 1 is Detroit Pistons. Series 2 is a big, ugly bar that says expansion draft choice, right? And with the Timberwolves. Right. So we paid the $40 to get him to sign this card at the Detroit Sports Spectacular just here in May 2025. We got up to the front of the line, and he says, I don't sign that. I've never signed that. I won't sign that because I never played for the Timberwolves.
So I guess that's an impossible one.
It's an impossible one, but, I did a little research into that. I think he's a little salty about it because the Detroit Pistons won the championship in 90. And he's a member of the Bad Boys that only won 1 championship, and everybody else won twice. So I could tell this was more than just I didn't play for them. He's a little bitter about
that
it.
one I'll never get.
Well, Rick, if you're listening to this, consider the set collector here. Yeah, you'll probably never get that, and he said he has never signed one. But I could say with pretty accurate surety that you are probably the only one that has that far of a set completed. Yeah, only missing a few, and they are tough. So yeah, that's cool. As for me, valuable. I've never been into things that I keep for myself. It's not about the money to me. It's that they mean something to me. And as a lifelong diehard Cubs fan, there isn't really anything that meant more to me than the 2016 World Series and being at Game 7. Also, Steve, we didn't go together. We didn't even know each other, or we knew each other, but we didn't know each other. We're going to the game. We both were in attendance for that Game 7 and broke the curse. I could pontificate for a long time about what the Cubs have meant to me and my family, my kids, and my mom and my dad, and all that, but I'm not going to do that. But Topps Now put out, and Topps Now actually started this in 2016, so it was like cards on demand. So after a game, they would, release a card, and they were doing this for the postseason. And the postseason would have autograph cards and it would have relic cards, and the relic cards were like game used bases from that particular game. And then the cards, if it was an autograph, if like Rizzo hit a home run, it would be like an autographed Rizzo card from this game because he hit whatever. Well, all of the autographs and relics in that postseason set I have in PSA 10s. I have the complete set of that with the exception of one. Now, not only did I collect Cubs players, but say like in the World Series, because it looked like the Cubs were going to lose, the Indians were featured in many of the cards as well. So
you have those also?
I have those also. Okay. So I have, the Kluber, the Lindor Kluber duel. As a matter of fact, the only card postseason autograph or relic I don't have in PSA 10 is a Kluber base. So if anyone has that, please let me know.
And were you buying these from Topps, or was it years later when you would?
Yeah, I bought them from Topps. So I was buying a bunch of them from Topps, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going to complete the set. And then I said, you know what the heck? I'm going to send them into to PSA and get them graded. Well, I think one order came back, and I hit almost every 10. I'm like, well, let's up the stakes a little bit. Let's just build 10. So I'd buy them on eBay, the ones that I didn't have. Okay. And sometimes, maybe I'm upside down on one particular card, like a Jason Hayward autograph card. I had to buy like 6 of them to get a 10, but whatever. I needed a 10 to fulfill it. So that's one thing. And then, I have a lot of Jordan items. I've always bought Jordan items, and I don't really care. I'm not trying to get a good deal on them, but I try to buy one at every big show. So for the last 4 nationals, I've paid retail for a Jordan I find in the room. And so that's kind of my thing from now on. I'm going to buy one Jordan autograph item each national, whatever I think's the coolest in the room. And, you're not really buying Jordan things under market value anywhere you go. Matter of fact, if you can find one that's just a little bit above market value. So I have a lot of Jordan signed items. I don't know how many, probably 20. That's something I really love.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's it. What's in your safe? What's in your closet? What's valuable? Leave some comments on this, and please subscribe to the BBCE podcast channel. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for joining this episode of the BBCE podcast.